Hi, my name is Hannah Workman, and my topic is on affirmative action and whether it should or should not be used in higher educational institutions and workplaces. I do not believe that it should be used. With affirmative action literally meaning agreeable, when the words affirmative action are spoken, a positive connotation is heard. These words are often passed around courtrooms and over the desks of news stations. But what exactly is affirmative action? Affirmative action is a policy that tends to favor those who suffer from discrimination, especially in relation to employment or education. In simpler terms, it is a policy that forces businesses and institutions, such as universities, to look at an individual's race, ethnicity, or sex when considering their applications, to give them more of a chance of getting the position. On the surface, these policies sound like a great idea. After all, minorities have undergone years of discrimination and are more than deserving of a little help. But that is just the surface, and there's so much more beneath. When institutions give minorities spots that they otherwise would not have received, they must take the spot away from another. This brings the overall fairness of affirmative action into question. In the Constitution, the Equal Protection Clause states that no state shall make or enforce any law which shall abridge the privileges or immunities of citizens of the United States, nor shall any state deprive any person of life, liberty, or property without due process of law, nor deny to any person within its jurisdiction the equal protection of the laws. In other words, no person, regardless of their race or ethnicity, may be denied their basic rights. The Equal Protection Clause was created to protect the minority, but includes the majority. Therefore, to choose a more ethnic applicant over another is in violation of the Equal Protection Clause. According to Dennis DeSlippe, author of Protesting Affirmative Action, The Struggle Over Equality After the Civil Rights Revolution, Title VII of the Civil Rights Act of 1964 states that employment discrimination on the basis of race, color, creed, and sex is banned. Yet time after time, courts have ruled in favor of universities and businesses who have been faced with allegations of unconstitutional discrimination. Their reasoning for claiming that it is fair is often the richness of diversity it creates. But that still leaves many people with one question. If society uses discrimination to combat discrimination, where does it draw the line? In places like the United Kingdom, affirmative action is often referred to as positive discrimination. The juxtaposition of these words highlights the absurdity of the policies. Since when has discrimination in any form been positive? Discrimination is discrimination, no matter which way you look at it. Referring to affirmative action as positive discrimination causes society to overlook its negative effects, therefore perpetuating the cycle of discrimination. With this cycle of discrimination comes a cycle of stereotyping. Affirmative action programs were created with the idea that being a certain race or ethnicity will make you less well-rounded. But this is not always the case. The color of their skin is not what takes away their opportunities, their income levels do. Although there is some correlation between minorities and lower income levels, correlation does not imply causation. Furthermore, to hire or admit an applicant on the basis of race is to declare that you believe that their skin color is more important than what they bring to the table. To disregard intelligence and experience is to ultimately harm the institutions using the policies. Gail Harriet, professor of law at the University of San Diego, does an amazing job explaining these effects.
Schools. The problem is not that there are no academically gifted minority students, but there are not currently enough at the very top tiers to satisfy the demand. And efforts to remedy that problem end up causing credentials gaps up and down the pecking order. For example, we learned in connection with the University of Michigan Supreme Court litigation a decade ago that Michigan granted preferences to underrepresented minority students equivalent to an entire letter grade. That is, African American and Hispanic students with a straight B 3.0 average were treated the same as Asian and white students with a straight A 4.0 grade point average, all other things being equal. This is no tiebreaker in otherwise close cases. The preferences are very large, and since 2003, they've gotten larger. The problem is that entering credentials matter. Students whose academic credentials are well below the average for the college and university they are attending will usually earn grades that are similar.
In the beginning of my research process, I was not quite sure where to start. There was so much to choose from. It was the discovery of landmark cases such as Gratz versus Bollinger, where a student sued the University of Michigan for violation of the Equal Protection Clause after being denied admission into the university. That really helped me formulate my ideas on the total injustice involved in affirmative action. In my interview with Dr. Jamie Humphrey, she explained the benefits of affirmative action. Dr. Humphrey plays a significant role in admissions of undergraduate and graduate students into her program at the University of Colorado Boulder. Although I do see her side, the benefits of diversity, I do not believe that it outweighs the negative effects of affirmative action. The basic principle of affirmative action is to create equal opportunity, but choosing between races does not create that. It does the exact opposite. There are better ways of creating equality and diversity than by race-based affirmative action. In fact, in a study done by Anthony P. Carnival, Stephen J. Rose, and Jeff Stroll at Georgetown University, they concluded that class-based affirmative action programs would cause African American and Hispanic levels to rise higher than that of race-based levels. Using class instead of race would encompass a larger population and ultimately benefit society more. This is why I do not believe in affirmative action. The programs violate the Constitution and are detrimental to society. Affirmative action should not be used in higher education institutions and businesses unless there's a large-scale reform on its policies. In my opinion, a class-based program would better suit the needs of the United States and the minorities that reside here.